Well, good morning from Shoal Bay, Washington. This is James coming to you from livingonawoodenboat.com. Today we're going to be talking about steam on the windows, or condensation as it were, and some of the things that you can do to combat that. Now, this is our first video and I want to apologize because I don't have any video editing equipment, and this is just me going raw here. So you can see from the video that there is plenty of condensation on the windows from last night. This is just as the sun is coming up. We've been up for probably almost 4 hours now. And we're just pulling the blinds. The blinds in this case are acting as an insulator. Now, we are newish to this boat, and so we are combating these problems kind of as they go, so you're kind of coming along for the ride here. So if you've already been through these problems and you're like, James, I know the answer, just bear with me because I'm going to show you what I did. So if we go back here to the aft cabin window, and I can pull the blind, and so you can see if the blind is up, it's going to provide some sort of insulation because of the air space between it. And even these crappy little steel leveler blinds, which are what came with the boat, will provide some level of insulation. So when we pull this, and this is, the sun has just come up over the hills, so the sun that you'll see coming through the window hasn't had a chance to create any thermal heat. Later on in the day, here in probably 3 or 4 hours after lunch, the windows will all clear up naturally from the thermostatic heat from the sun. So you can see here, you can see out there is dinghy, and you can't see dinghy because of the fog. So if we go over to the port side of the boat, that looks like fog, doesn't it? It's not. They're covers. And I want to illustrate the difference here with what you do with this style or kind of boat. So here I'm going to take this cover off, and then you'll see how much better the window is at preventing condensation. So here we go. It's a beautiful but chilly morning out. Good morning sunshine. Ooh, little cloud action there, but you can see what's coming. Nothing but blue skies, baby. Alright, here we go. Oh, don't get dizzy. Alright, so these are covers that Denise and I made. And we specifically made them out of a material, maybe you can kind of see if we hold it up to the sun, you can see through them. They're somewhat sheer, but it's a sunbrella fabric, and I'll post the exact fabrics that we used on the blog so that you can order it if you'd like. But they're materials that we got from Sailrite, and Denise has a really nice sewing machine, so we were able to sew these and then install the screws, which right into this teak, but on a Grand Banks it's painted white most of the time, so it really doesn't matter. So anyways, as we start to peel back here, and we can look in the window, and you can clearly see, morning, dock captain, that there are no fog on this window. Just a little bit in the bottom corners. When we go in, you'll be able to see that better. So we pulled the cover back inside the boat here, and it's funny, it's so cold my screen on my phone is fogging up, but you can see here when I get the phone out of the light, just a little bit of fog down here in the corners, but virtually none on the windows. Same boat, same thing, sun hasn't come up, and here's a little bit of proof. We don't have a cover on this window, so yeah, it gets like that. So we've done a lot of different things to try to keep the cold air out on this boat, and I've had many suggestions. I'm going to tell you, one of the greatest things about boaters is that we're all know-it-alls that are willing to give you our advice, even unsolicited, and mostly. So anyway, one person told me to put plastic sheeting over the inside of the windows like you do on a house. The problem with that is this is a very old wooden boat, and these windows are not sealed. So hopefully most of you will be with me long enough to watch me actually reseal and rebuild these windows as we've done it on past boats. But that's one of the problems. So when you put the sheet of plastic over the inside, which is meant to keep the cold air out, of course what it does is it fogs up, just like everything else. So we actually found that these work really well, these covers, for keeping the moisture out of the boat. What it does, because we use this mesh, kind of see my hand through that a little bit, is that it condensates on the mesh and then the wind blows the condensation away. A lot like a performance fabric for runners and exercise people. That's an official term, just so you know, exercise people. You people that exercise! Yeah, anyway, moving on. So that's today's little blurb, if you will. I'll put more on the written blog on the website, which is livingонawoodenboat.com. And I hope that you enjoyed this first video. It said a lot of ums. We could count those. Somebody could go and count those. Anyway, I'm signing out for the morning. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good day.